My name is Mason Adey. I'm 25 years old and I'm a completely blind wrestling fan. When I first started watching wrestling in 2012, I still had a little bit of sight, and it wasn't much, but it was functional and it was enough. It was enough to get me hooked into wrestling, and it quickly became my favourite thing and something that I was incredibly passionate about. I spent hours on message boards talking about it, and on the game creating my own characters and learning all the moves and just trying to get as deeply ingrained in the wrestling culture as I could. In 2017, I lost the remainders of my sight, and that's definitely made wrestling harder to watch. These days, when I tell people that I'm a wrestling fan, they tend to react with surprise, like, oh wow, how do you even still watch these days? Can you even still appreciate the in-ring action? I think I'd have given up if I were you. I get that a lot. And the truth is that there was a big adjusting period to get used to how I have to take in wrestling now, to appreciate it as something that could rise above just being a visual medium. But I think over the last 2 years, I've probably learned to love wrestling more than I ever did when I could still see, to appreciate the hard work that goes into it in terms of the acting, the storytelling, the hard work the commentary put in, just everything involved in bringing out that magic when you get a good wrestling match. But I still definitely struggle at times. I get lost in matches. I miss a lot in multi-man matches. They can get so hectic that I just get completely lost, and it's the same once a match picks up past a certain point, and I definitely miss a lot. In April of 2019, I started my own podcast called Wrestling in the Dark. I started it to give other blind people somewhere to go and relate to when it comes to wrestling content, to put the word out there that there are blind wrestling fans, and it's quickly become apparent that I'm definitely not the only one. I've been doing it for 3 months and I've already met numerous blind people, and they all say the same thing. They find it hard to watch, but they enjoy play by play. And since I started the channel, the number one question that I get asked is, what would make it better for you? What would make it easier to take in wrestling? And that's where my request from AEW comes in. I was interested in AEW from the minute that it got announced. Good friends of mine that I really trust and respect when it comes to the wrestling business came to me and said, look man, this is going to be something special, it's going to be something big. And I really got drawn in, and then Double or Nothing happened, and that was when it really started to get under my skin, when it really started to become something that I could tell I was going to get invested in. But I've been struggling. I've been trying to watch Being the Elite, and I've been trying to keep up with the Road 2 series. And a lot of the time there's musical breaks, there's things going on that I don't understand, that I can't see. I don't know a lot of the talent that's on the AEW roster, so when it comes to a Being the Elite episode, I don't know where they are, who's talking, what's going on, or any other of those visual aspects that go into a Being the Elite episode. And I really want to invest. So the answer to the question, what would make things better for you, is audio description. Whenever I watch a television show with audio description, I always end up thinking, wow, I wish they had this for the parts of wrestling that aren't taking place in the ring, because I understand that audio description might not be possible in the actual match, and that's what the commentary's for. And one of the things that really drew me in with AEW, with Double or Nothing, and with Fyter Fest was how crisp and informative the commentary was. The fact that Excalibur pointed out the colours that Private Party were wearing during their match at Fyter Fest was such an important, simple visual clue that helped me visualise those two competitors during the match and helped me build a much clearer mental image of what was going on. And it's something that a lot of commentators don't do, and that's one of the things that I really, really appreciated about Excalibur during those two pay-per-views. But it's definitely possible during a Being the Elite episode, and it'd be incredibly valuable to have something that told me where the wrestlers were, what the wearing, what the facial expressions are, any other visual clues or gags that go into making a Being the Elite episode, so people like me can appreciate them and invest in the characters there and learn who they are from the audio describer saying their name and then they're talking, you learn their voice, and it'd just be such a valuable addition to AEW, in my opinion, that it would make a lifelong fan out of me. So this is my request to you, AEW. Please make audio description a thing, because a lot of the time with wrestling these days I feel left out, but you give me hope. The fact that Double or Nothing was the first sensory inclusive wrestling event in history gives me hope. The fact that you said that you think wrestling should be for everybody gives me hope. So take this chance to capitalise on someone who feels underrepresented in the business that we all love, because when it comes down to it, I know that I'm not the only one.